Every company on this planet is going to tell you that they deliver an amazing customer experience. After all, why wouldn't they? Some companies invest as many resources into their employee experience as they do their customer experience. But only a few companies actually do both. I've spent the last 10 years trying to figure out why is it that some companies actually do what they say and others fall short. There's a company that I think we can all learn from. The name of the company is the Beautiful People Company. They operate out of Seoul, South Korea, and they manufacture men's clothing. One of their customers is Calvin Klein. On the surface, they seem like every other manufacturer in the world who compete on product and price. But it's the fact that of the 214 employees that they have, 89 of them have physical disabilities. The Beautiful People Company is a representation of their people first mentality. It is a representation of their culture of inclusion. Why is it that companies like the Ritz-Carlton and Warby Parker can deliver these amazing experiences year over year to their customers and their employees and others fall short? I've spent nearly 10 years thinking about this. And last year in 2017, I developed a concept that I call the people first culture. Building companies that your employees and customers will admire. It's very easy and straightforward. It starts off by building a team. Next, you make sure that they are engaged. And then they're going to deliver that experience you want them to your customers. Quite straightforward, is it not? Again, if it's so straightforward, why don't we all do it? Let's use two examples. Blockbuster and Toys R Us. Two companies that were once celebrated. Multi-billion-dollar companies, household names. Now they fail to exist. The reason that they are no longer in business isn't just because of the lack of technology that they had. I believe it's because they lacked having a people-first culture. Blockbuster's mission was to support the communities that their members and employees called home. How well did they support those communities? If they had done a better job, perhaps they would still be in business. The argument often is Amazon and Netflix put them out of business because of the technology. I'm not going to argue that the technology didn't play a key role, but the technology was an outcome of having people first cultures. Amazon's slogan isn't familiar to a lot of people. Their slogan is to be Earth's most customer-centric company. They started off in a garage in Seattle, Washington. They're a company much smaller than mine and yours. And they've grown to be this celebrated company worth billions. They enter markets and industries freely because they've earned trust. You have not earned the permission to cross or upsell your customers until you've built trust first. You have not earned the permission to cross or upsell your customers until you've built trust first. And that's something Amazon has been able to do because of their mission of being customer centric and operating from the viewpoint of the customer, and because they have a people first culture. Netflix, one of their core values is employee freedom. It's this freedom that allowed their engineers and their team members to create the technology that put Blockbuster out of business. So we celebrate companies like Netflix and Amazon and Warby Parker and many others. If we celebrate them and admire them and want to grow companies like theirs, why is it that we don't do it ourselves? And I've narrowed it down to two answers. The first is the lack of benevolent leadership. Benevolent leadership is defined by being well-being. It's the opposite of that manager or that boss who's going to yell at you and use aggression to get the best of you. I think that leadership style is dead now. The benevolent leader is someone like Richard Branson, who will still get the best out of you. He just goes a different way about it. The benevolent leader is someone like Howard Behar. That name might not be familiar to you. Howard Behar stood side by side with Howard Schultz at Starbucks when the company was growing rapidly. It was Howard Behar who built their culture of people first. It was Howard Behar that told the world that they are not in the coffee business serving people, they are in the people business serving coffee. People like Howard Behar and Richard Branson doesn't ask, what is the ROI of employee engagement? What is the ROI of training and development? They just know that if you invest in your people, then you will build a great company. The benevolent leader doesn't see a divide between the relationships that they have in their personal life as they do their business life. They strip it all down, they take the commerce away, and they're able to deliver these experiences both to their employees and their customers that neither have seen before. The benevolent leader knows how to care about a stranger. When you ask your team members to deliver a great customer experience, you're asking them to take care of a stranger, and only a certain type of customer-centric DNA can do that day over day, week over week, year over year. The benevolent leader knows that if I am going to ask my team to lead, I must lead as well. Because I must learn how to take care of a stranger as well too, because ultimately the people that I report into once were strangers. And hopefully you build a relationship with them that is very fruitful and beneficial for both parties. That is benevolent leadership. That is the number one reason why we are not going to build people first cultures authentically like companies like the Beautiful People Company or Warby Parker. The second reason goes back to the people first culture. You have the team, you have engagement, and you have customers. Simple, is it not? It's the 3P strategy that I've developed that allows you to hinge everything together. The first P is purpose. What is the purpose of your company? If it's to make money, that's a very poor business. To understand the purpose of your company, ask yourself one question. What do I want my employees and customers to think and feel when they see my brand or when they see our employees in their uniforms? For me, the purpose of my companies is to feel safe. I want my customers to feel safe. I want them to feel like this is a safe bet. If I spend money with this company, I know I'm going to get value. I have consumer confidence in that logo, in that brand, and in that team. I want my employees to feel safe as well too. I want them to feel like they invest in me, they care for me, they want me to succeed. I feel safe here. So ask yourself, what do you want your employees or your customers to think and feel when they see your brand? And that will help you understand the purpose of your company. The second entity is, what is the purpose of your employees? Each and every one of your employees has a different purpose. It is your responsibility as a benevolent leader to understand what their purpose is and get them there, with or without the company. Now, often I've been asked, well, Michel, what if we invest in somebody and they leave? And my response is, your mother is going to die. Your mother, your father, your uncle, your dog, your best friend, they're all going to die. So knowing that information, does that mean that you're not going to invest in enriching their lives? Take that same mentality from your personal life into your business life, and that's how you will become a benevolent leader and live within the people first culture in the 3P strategy. Jordan Lopez is a marketing manager within my business. And he told me when we were going through the interview process that his goal was to start a digital marketing agency of his own within 3 to 5 years. That became my purpose. His purpose is now my purpose. And if I'm going to be a great leader, I must get him there. That is my responsibility. However many direct reports you have, whether it's 1 or 10, you must understand what each of your team members' individual purposes are as individuals, not as employees, as individuals. And that's how you're going to separate that divide between commerce and personal relationships. The third is, what is the purpose of your customers? Each and every one of your customers have a different purpose. Some may share some commonalities, but for me, my purpose is transactional experiences with my bank or my telecom company. I don't care to talk about the local sports team or the weather, not because I'm a bad guy, but because I want to save that extra 5 minutes and do things that I actually want to do, such as exercise or walk my dog. My mother is the opposite. She's going to talk to you about things that are completely off topic, like her dog or the weather, and you must serve her that way, because that's the way that she wants to be served. Help your team members understand that there are different personality types, different purposes that your customers have, and to deliver a personalized experience, one that your customers have never seen before. You must educate them and understand these different purposes. How can you find the purposes of your customers? I have an initiative running within my businesses called the Customer Advisory Board. We meet with them quarterly and we understand what is your definition of success in doing business with us? What is your purpose? The second P is process. Fantastic! You deliver a great experience to your customers and your employees. After all, why wouldn't somebody say that? But my question is, show us. Show us the investments, show us the strategic initiatives, show me your P&L, that you're budgeting for these initiatives. If you're doing a fantastic job, if you're currently building these strategies and deploying them, it never is going to stop. Continue. Every single quarter, you should have strategic initiatives on your operating plan that allows you to continue to invest in your employees and your customers. Do you have the Net Promoter Score, a complaint resolution system? How are you investing in your customers to understand customer intelligence, such as a customer advisory board? How are you building processes for your employees? How are you recruiting? What interview questions are you asking to identify if the person sitting in front of you is actually customer centric? How are you onboarding them? If you are going to ask your employees to take care of a stranger being your customer, you must do that for them on day one. I have a question that I like to ask to identify whether the person standing in front of me is customer centric, and I'm going to use that within onboarding. The question is, what is an indulgence that you can't live without that costs less than $20? Maybe it's Miss Vicky's potato chips. Maybe it's sugar-free Red Bull or Swiss chocolate, whatever it is. Document that answer, because that is the gift that you give them, have waiting on their desk or at their workstation on day one with a handwritten note or card from the owners of the company or in management. That is a fantastic way to emotionally onboard your team and supercharge them to deliver an experience to your customers that they've never seen before. If you do deliver such a great experience to your customers or your employees today, continue forward, because it never is going to stop. Your customers and your employees, their behaviors, their expectations are always changing. And unless you think that that's not true, that their behaviors are the same, then you don't have to build additional strategies. But you and I both know that it is true. They are changing. So therefore, you must invest in systems and processes and initiatives on a quarterly basis to always stay ahead of the curve and make sure that you do not suffer the same fate that Blockbuster and Toys R Us did. If you deliver such a great experience for both your customers and your employees, show us. The last P is profit. That is the outcome, the economics that come of this. See, you have to move about the circle the right way. You have to go clockwise, not counterclockwise. A lot of companies are guilty of just focusing on profit, and that's a poor business in my opinion. If you deliver an experience your customers or employees have never seen before, if you have the people first culture embedded into the DNA of your company, then you're going to profit. You'll have high customer loyalty. Customers are going to come back. They're going to buy from you more. They're going to refer their family members or friends, and that's going to produce something I call organic growth, which is defined by the revenue that your company earns through repeat customers and referral-based marketing because of your great customer experience. The reason every company must grow organically It's because it's highly profitable revenue. You've earned it. You don't need to market to those same customers again. They're coming on their own because of that experience you deliver to them. That is part of the profitability that you're going to earn by having a people-first culture. This stuff pays. It goes directly to the bottom line. What about profiting by having high employee retention? You don't have to recruit or train as much. That goes straight back to the bottom line, or allows you to invest more into the experiences of your employees. What about free media? Warby Parker has earned tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars of free media because the Huffington Post, Mashable, and Business Insider all write about their experiences that they've had with customers have had with their company. Because if you deliver an experience worth sharing for your customers or your employees, the media is going to want to share that on your behalf. Ordinary companies have to pay PR firms tens of thousands of dollars, maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars to get the same media that Warby Parker earns for free because they have a people-first culture. Every company on this planet is going to tell you that they deliver an amazing experience to their customers. Some are going to say that they deliver the same experience to their employees as they do their best customer. But only a few actually do it. If you think that you do, show us.